Hello lovely people. By now you guys must have guessed as to what this video is all about. Out of all the macarons, we have the chocolate macaron, which is the most favorite treat of many people around, and this is exactly what I'm going to teach you today. Let's begin with the ingredients. You require egg whites, some water, cocoa powder, almond flour, castor sugar, and the second part of egg whites. We begin by adding the first part of the egg whites into a stand mixing bowl. Get ready with a whisk attachment. Meanwhile, into a saucepan, add castor sugar and the water that is there in the recipe. Turn on the induction stove and start cooking the water and the sugar together. You can stir in the beginning, but once the sugar dissolves, avoid stirring. We're going to set the temperature of the thermometer at 110 degrees. And the moment it reaches 110 degrees, we start whisking the egg whites at medium speed till it turns frothy. In the meantime, continue cooking the sugar syrup to a soft ball stage. The sugar syrup can go anywhere between 115 to 117 degrees. Once it approaches the soft ball stage, stream in the sugar syrup while the machine is running on medium speed. Continue to whisk the egg whites till it forms a meringue and cools down completely. While the egg whites are being whipped, you can start sifting the almond flour and the icing sugar together. Before you sift them up, you need to make sure that you have finely ground them up together. So when you grind them up really fine, you are going to get a nice and smooth surface over your macaron. You could add the cocoa powder while you are sifting the almond flour and the icing sugar together. Make sure that you're using a good brand of cocoa powder. Care needs to be taken as to how you store your almond flour. Make sure that you store it in a cool and dry place. Do not refrigerate. Now I'm going to transfer all the dry ingredients that I have sifted together into another bowl. If you look into your recipe, you have part 2 of egg white. Please add that into the almond flour mixture. I would recommend you to start mixing the egg whites into the almond flour mixture only once the meringue has been formed. Do not make this ahead of time. Into the freshly combined ingredients that you have made into a paste, you're going to now add in or fold in the meringue that you have made. Ensure that the egg white has been mixed really well with the dry ingredients. The idea about making macarons with the Italian method of meringue formation is that your meringue is going to be super stable and there are fewer chances for you to go foul. At this point in time, you need not worry about the entire batter being deflated because this is exactly what you want to do. This process is known as a macaronage. When you drop your batter from height with your spatula or your wooden ladle, you should be able to draw an 8, a continuous 8. So let's get ready with all the equipments that are required for piping of the macarons. You require a nozzle which is about 6 to 7 mm. Insert the nozzle into a strong piping bag. Twist and turn the piping bag into the nozzle so that you prevent the batter from leaking out. Fold the edges of the piping bag and rest it inside a container. Now we're going to fill the batter into the piping bag. Make sure that you fill up to a level where you are comfortable with piping. Another handy tip that I can give you while piping your macaron batter onto the tray is that you hold your piping bag with the non-dominant hand and pinch 4 to 5 inches away from the nozzle with your dominant hand. If you've done your macaronage really well and to the right consistency, you don't have to tap your tray to settle down the peaks. Make sure that you rest your macarons that you have piped onto the trays in an AC room for some time, at least for an hour, so that the macarons dry out on the surface. You need to bake the macarons at 150 degrees for almost 15 to 16 minutes. And here you go, the amazing looking chocolate macarons. You can fill your macarons with any kind of filling of your choice. There's going to be an upcoming video on how you fill your macarons with 2 lip smacking ganaches. Do fill your macarons one day ahead of time so that the flavor of the fillings seep in. Now it may seem a little intimidating for you to start baking of macarons, but then if you follow the tips and tricks that I have mentioned in the description below, you will be able to ace it. And here you go. The secret behind making the perfect macarons is no longer a secret for you all.